My name is Jodie Bunting, this is Natasha Gant, and welcome to the Health Idol Body Transformation. Okay, Natasha, you want to transform your body. Please tell us the history of your body, weight, appearance, look, and most importantly, feeling.
Okay, where do I start? Okay, probably as a child, I've always struggled with my weight all my life, even probably as far back as I would say maybe about 6 years old. I was quite an overweight child. I've always been very active, though all my life, even as a child, I always did swimming and tennis, and even up until now, I've been very active. So most of my weight-related things are to do with what I was eating, but didn't realise this until probably about 2 or 3 years ago. So my weight fluctuated. I don't really know what I weighed as a child, but certainly I tended to put weight on as I grew up. And as I became a teenager and started going out, probably through to like low self-esteem and insecurity, started abusing my body more as I got older. So not only was I eating wrong, I then, from probably about the age of 15, I started smoking. Um, as a teenager, then drinking as well. Just basically abusing my body, and as a teenager, I was overweight. I think probably, I can't remember what I weighed. I think probably about 15 or 16. I probably weighed about 11 stone, I would guess. But I certainly was overweight, so probably about a 14, 16, but not a healthy 14, 16. I was overweight. Um, then, as I say, I was abusing my body, so I started smoking, I started drinking. So mentally, I think I was using all these things as a self-destruction, because I actually didn't like myself, but it isn't until years later that you realise why you do all of these things. So I think my heaviest weight, when I was 18, I think I went up to about 13.9, which was quite heavy. I then decided that I wanted to do something about my weight, and I joined a gym and started exercising. I'd always been very active though through my teenage years, because I used to play tennis competitively. Was a member of 2 tennis clubs, and used to pay for leagues and teams, and that was a lot of my life. And I used to swim a lot as well, but I was always overweight, so however active I was, it was obviously something that was still very wrong with my lifestyle. So I decided to join a gym when I was about 18, and I joined Weight Watchers for the first time, and I lost about a stone there, and started training, going to the gym, got chatting to a guy there, and decided that I really got into it about a year later, decided to do a fitness instructor's course myself. Trained as a fitness professional, and then got into the industry about a year later. I then probably was down to about 11 stone, and looked fitter than I was, and then started exercising hugely. But what I know now is my body was under a huge amount of stress, like emotionally, because of my self-esteem, and it was under nutritional stress because I was eating absolute rubbish. Not that I knew it at the time, but I was eating really badly. So then going through the exercise regime I put myself through as a fitness instructor, I was actually doing my body a lot more harm than good. So I started teaching classes, and I was probably teaching 5, 6 classes a week, and then training on top of that. So I think I was actually doing my body, or I was doing my body a lot of harm. So my exercise fluctuated, my diet fluctuated, and then when I got to about 25, 26, was probably where I seemed to get worse and worse with the way that I treated myself. I don't really know what triggered it, but I started to abuse myself to the absolute maximum, like party girl, like anything that you could do, I was doing it. Abusing myself hugely, so the knock-on effect of that was I didn't sleep, I didn't eat. I was still overweight even though I wasn't eating. But yeah, I was abusing myself massively, so that was probably the worst point. Yeah.
And what made you change?
Probably what made me change was like my health. I did have a cervical scare that I had. Obviously, women have all their smears and things done. I had the worst stage of pre-cancerous cells and had to have an operation to have those. Did you know this?
No.
Had to have an operation to have those removed, and that was obviously due to the unhealthy, or how unhealthy my body was. You know, so that was a sign to me really. And I was at such a low that the amount of partying I was doing was affecting my work. I wasn't sleeping. I was highly stressed. I felt unhealthy. I was smoking loads. I don't really know what made me want to change. I don't.
So what did you actually physically do to change your lifestyle?
The first thing I did was because I was trying to think about how I could get myself out of the pit that I'd sort of dug myself into. Like the knock-on effects psychologically, I'd got into loads of debt as well, which was a knock-on effect of the amount of partying and going out that I was doing. I was living way above my means, and I knew that I was at a point where I couldn't possibly move forward unless I made a change. My health was suffering. I was going out, I wasn't sleeping. I felt really ill. I didn't even want to go to work at all any day. And I knew for my health and for my sanity that I had to change. I was at the point I was going to book myself into some form of rehab clinic, and then somewhere I got the strength from somewhere to know that I could do it on my own. And I did a course, a holistic lifestyle course with the Czech Institute, and that really spurred me on. I also read a book called The Celestine Prophecy, which is about people's journeys and about positive mental attitude, and a few things that have happened in my life at the same time, along with doing this holistic lifestyle course, that spurred me on to make a change in my life.
Okay, Natasha, tell us about your highest weight and how you felt at that time.
Okay, so when I was 18, I was about 39. Then I dropped down to about 11.5 when I was doing all the fitness, and then probably up until about 2 years ago, when I came out of the fitness industry. I'm still in the fitness industry. I went into management, but I came out of teaching. When I stopped teaching all those classes and went more to a desk operational role, I then started to put weight on again. This was again through the time where I was abusing my body. And the most I ever weighed was about 16 stone, and that was 2 years ago.
And how were you feeling when you looked in the mirror?
I used to look in the mirror and think that it wasn't me, I think is the best way I can describe it. I knew that I was overweight, but I didn't really think of it as being me. I can't really describe it. I didn't like it. If I looked at pictures of myself, I couldn't believe that I was that big.
What was the largest clothes size you bought?
I was comfortably in an 18. Shirt-wise, because I'm quite broad and busty anyway, shirt-wise probably a 20 in a suit, like work suit, and that was 2 years ago.
Okay, what was your lowest point? Living a bad lifestyle or being your fattest? What was your lowest point that you can remember?
The lowest point was the being low with my lifestyle. So when I was up to my eyeballs in debt, partying hard, not sleeping, stressed, just not in control of any part of my life at all, and feeling so unhealthy.